What's going on, technicians? So we're going to start off by taking the lug nuts off by using a 16 millimeter socket. Going to put this on this ratchet real quick. We're going to make sure it's on the off position, and we're going to turn these lug nuts counterclockwise to take them off. Now I'm going to use the impact to speed this process up once I get the lug nuts broken loose. Alright, so now text what you want to do. You want to jack the car up as high as you can get it. That way you can have room whenever you pull the transmission out of the car. And then what you want to do is you want to put the jack stands on the side. That way you can have room where you can roll underneath the car with your creeper. Alright, let me let this bad boy down. See what I got. Yeah, that's enough room. So now we're going to use a 10 millimeter socket to take the cables off the battery post, negatives and positive, and the battery hold downs. I'm going to use my impact because I don't play around. Time is very valuable to me. I'm gonna use the gear ratchet for the positive cable post. Really can't put an impact over there. Get an impact over there, I'm sorry. Bada boom, bada bang. Take it off. Put it to the side. Now what I like to do, I like to put the nuts back on the studs, that way I won't lose them because they're easy to lose. Now we're going to take the battery out. Now we're going to take the air filter off. And the intake. What you guys want to start doing is just start unplugging sensors. Check out your pins, make sure you don't see any corrosions while you're there. So now what I'm doing, I'm taking the battery bracket off. Just a couple of 10mm bolts. Put that to the side. Now what you guys want to do is remove the starter. So disconnect the positive and negative, go into the solenoid. So we're going to use a 14mm socket to take the bolts off of the starter. Sometimes it can be a little tight, so I got this snap-on long neck ratchet. Works perfect. Let's see if we can get it out. Damn, I dropped the bolt. That tends to happen a lot. I hate when that happens. There it is, right there. I see you. I see you, buddy. Can't get away from me. Alright, so now we're going to take the second bolt out. Let's see, break this bad boy loose. Yeah, you come out of there. Gotcha. Now we can just wiggle the starter out. Probably about the easiest starter I've probably removed in my life. That's the clutch right there inside. I'm coming for you, boy. Alright, so what I like to do, I like to put the bolts back in the transmission. That way I won't forget it. Let me get the one that fell. Come here. All right. Put this bad boy back in there. So now you want to disconnect one of the grounds that's going to the transmission. Come on, there you go. It's the bad gun right there. Now we're going to take this sensor out just so we won't break it. Now we're taking the clutch slave cylinder off. Using a 12mm socket. And a 10mm to take the clamp off the line. Should have edited that out, but yeah, I make mistakes too. So that's the 10mm socket. Take that out. You just want to push that to the side, get it out the way. Alright, so now we got a 30mm socket. We're going to use that to take the nut off the axle. I'm going to use the impact for this one. Now Tex, what I like to do, I like to put the nut back on the axle and try to beat it out that way. That way you won't damage the threads on the axle. Give it a couple taps and it'll come right out. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this cotter pin out. And I like to use a pair of dikes whenever I'm doing this. For some reason, it grabs the cotter pin with ease and you can just pull that bad boy right on out. That's the cotter pin. Now we're going to use a 17mm socket to remove the nut from the pitman arm. Make sure your ratchet is on the off position, turning the nut counterclockwise. I really don't have too much room, so I'm gonna use an extension to give me leverage. So I'm gonna do the same thing what I did with the axle. I'm actually gonna put the nut back on and use the hammer to try to beat it out. So guys, I'm gonna keep reiterating this. Make sure you put the nuts back on the studs once you're done. That way you can find it. So now this is the control arm. We're gonna go ahead and take, I think it's 3 bolts. We're gonna go ahead and take these 3 bolts out using a 17mm socket. Man, this impact is a lifesaver. It's always that one. So I'm just gonna go ahead and break it loose using the ratchet and my muscles. So guys, I thought I had the axle out. I didn't. Guys, it's seized up in there pretty bad. Oh, You wasn't supposed to see me like this. So Tex, what you want to do if you're having a hard time like I am, get some PB Blaster. I mean, that thing works wonders. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna spray PB Blaster on the axle itself. See what happens. Come here. Yeah, come here. Alright, so you want to spray some PB Blasters right up in there. Yeah, spray it down. Don't be scared. Let that sit for a moment. Give it a little tap. Yeah, I make this thing look easy. It was a bitch. So now we got that bad boy out of there. Come here. Yep, you. Come here. So the threads are still good. That's a good thing. Oh, that rust in there seized up, but that PB Blaster works wonders. Make sure you guys get a can of that. Anybody want a Blue Point gun? Let me know. I can sell you this one. Just had to rebuild. Just had to throw that in there. Alright, so I gotta take this axle out. It's gonna be pretty hard. I don't know if you guys can see or not. It's the best angle. Oh, damn flashlight, that shit. Alright guys, so I'm gonna use this tool right here to pull the axle out completely out of the transmission. This is from Snap-on. It's like a lady's foot, but the head of the lady's foot, it pivots and you can lock it in place. It's a pretty cool tool. There she goes. She wet. She already wet. Come on, let's get it out of there. Sometimes you gotta talk to her too. Ow! If you can sing to her, even
finger,
better.
Man. God damn it! Fuck my goddamn finger, man. There we go. Focus on the bitch, man.
Ooh, that's it. So when you got her leaking like that, fellas, you got her right where you want her. She ain't going nowhere.
nice and pretty.
So now I'm taking the other side, the passenger side, wheel wall. We gotta take the axle. Alright, so we're looking at the other axle on the other side, and we're actually looking at the carrier bearing that mounts the axle, I guess, to the block of the engine. So we gotta take that off to get the axle out. Looks like it's gonna be a pain in the ass. That's why everybody skips this part in their videos, but me. What you want to do, you want to get a swivel. Works perfect. If you can, get it in there, you get that bolt out. I can get a good angle. You can see what's going on. That's a 14mm socket. Boom, it's out of there. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I'm trying to get it to where it's loose. And all I gotta do is just remove the axle. Now when you get the carrier bearing out, you just want to take the axle out. And I'm actually doing it the wrong way right now, but I'm showing you guys how to do it the wrong way so you'll know and you can do it the right way the next time. Alright guys, so I got a lady's foot, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to just beat the axle out through the other side. But first, on the carrier bearing, you gotta pull it completely away from the engine. What you want to do is just pry on the engine and pry on the carry bearing at the same time until you get it out. Perfect. Go ahead and get you like a drain pan. It's gonna get messy. Now we got the axle out. Thank God. She's still dripping, fellas. She's still dripping. Now you want to take the cotter pins out the rods that's on the transmission. You want to pull that out. So now what you guys want to do is take this bracket off. You either push it to the side or lay it on top of the transmission. Doesn't matter. Now you want to get your engine support bar and support the engine. I got a nice little hookup right here. It's beautiful outside. It's quiet. I'm living life. This is what I do. I'm just taking the bolts out of the control arm. I'm gonna take all the bolts out of the control arm so you can move it. Now guys, we're going to move to the mounts. And make sure you have the transmission supported. Now that red mount is hell to get through, and hell to take off. Making it look easy, but trust me guys, you're gonna struggle. And if you're struggling, what you want to do, you want to jack on it. You want to jack up on the transmission because you might have tension on that bolt.
It's stuck right now because I don't have the transmission jacked up. The jack fell down.
So now we're going to remove the bolts out of the bell housing.
Okay, so we just about got all the bottom bolts out. So it's 1, 2. So we got all the bottom bolts out. So it's one bolt. It's 1, 2, 3. Let's see, 4. And that was it. That's where the axle was at. We got all the bottom bolts, so now we can start on getting the top bolts. So what you want to do, you want to come here. It's actually 14 millimeter socket.
So now that we got all the bolts out of the bell housing, now it's time to pull the transmission out. And it's gonna take a while, so bear with me. So guys, I'm gonna take this engine mount bracket off because I was having a hard time because it was hitting against the frame. So I'm gonna take this off and that should do the trick. And yes, I broke them loose before I used my impact. So guys, this is another issue I ran into, where the rear engine mount bracket gets caught on the engine mount itself, and you have to use a pry bar to pry it out the way, and the transmission will just fall out once you do that. We got her out. That's it. It's just that easy. That's the clutch. Gotta take the clutch out. That's what we're going to be replacing. That's a throwout bearing. The throwout bearing is extremely worn out. So we're going to use a 12mm socket to remove all the bolts from around the clutch to take the clutch out. Peace. So that's the new clutch and that's the old clutch. You guys can see the difference. And the reason why I'm going in there with a dual last clutch is because I can replace the clutch and it's a lifetime warranty. It's a win-win situation for me. Don't judge me.